Hey friends, I finally did a whole thing, a whole entire thing. I emptied these shelves out one by one, cleaned the glass and cleaned all of the dang bottles, and then rearranged them. And I ended up doing the same with all of my other shelves because if you're going to do these, you might as well do the others. I did the ones in my linen closet and the ones in my bedroom. And I made a boo-boo that I'm going to share with you. It was like a fatal, catastrophic flaw in the reorganization of my entire collection. And I'll share what that is soon. But I want to take you through the shelves and show you how I have reorganized things into similar categories, but just sort of a little bit different. There's a little bit different flair. And as I went along, I kind of did a little bit of a Marie Kondo and was like, do I really like you? Do we have a good relationship? Is our friendship healthy or is it toxic? And is it time for you to go? So this is both a sort of collection tour, reorganization tour, and a little bit of a declutter at the same time. So I'll show you what some of those are. I decluttered a ton, like so many that it would take me way too long to actually record it, but I'll show you a few and they'll be on Mercari. And if they're not on Mercari, I have given them to our daughter to take to her friends and they can have at it and enjoy as many of those. And then I have a bunch in boxes that I hope to take to like a women's shelter locally that I don't think my daughter's friends would enjoy and that are not going to sell well on Mercari. And I'll share with you why that is. So let's take a quick tour of the reorganized shelves. I feel like at peace. I feel zen with the newly reorganized thing. Okay, so first of all, can I get a little bit of a clap and congratulations for this neat organization into rows? If you've seen these videos before, you know that these shelves have been nothing short of chaotic with things everywhere and me stuffing things into little crevices and places and in-betweens where they might fit in an effort to keep everything. So this was for me a very sort of brutal, as we like to say on YouTube, because it's a dramatic word. It was a brutal declutter. Same kind of idea, right? I did a lot of curating. I call it curating because that sounds a little bit gentler, but this is my bottom shelf and I put on the bottom the fragrances that I reach for probably the least because they are my cold weather types of fragrances, or you have to be in a cold weather mood, even if it's not cold weather. And so what we have here, and this is greatly pared back, this is my little like oud collection, okay? Or fragrances that have enough oud that I would probably feature them as an oud heavy fragrance. Over in here, we're starting to get more into leather territory. So these are fragrances that for me have prominent leather in them. Actually, would it be helpful to hear what some of my very favorites are at the moment? Back in this section, what I'm most excited to wear this fall into winter, of course, the Fragrance du Bois Sirène, which has that beautiful, really lovely, sweet, dark, deep, sexy cherry note. I just recently got this Rialto. I purchased it in the So Avant-Garde sale that I did with them. I'm excited to wear all of these. So let me just pause and say Sirène. And then I haven't pulled for Bronze Tonka in a while from Carolina Herrera, which is a really lovely, dark, cold weather fragrance. Very heavy, very strong. And I'm excited for that. In the leather territory here, you know, I'm really loving the Whittian fragrances recently. This is Banillas, which is, I mean, these are all just so gorgeous. Deep, dark, mysterious, sultry, sexy, all of the things. I definitely want to wear Overture from Amouage again. That's a heavy leather. This over here has leather too. I mean, these are all beautiful, and we're starting to get then into woody territory. So some of these are leather, and then back here we start to get into woody territory. You know, I have a passionate love affair with Saffron Lazuli, one of my very favorites. I'm looking forward to wearing Supernova from Andrea Mack, which is woody and spicy and warm. I'm looking forward to wearing all of these. So let me stop lying about that. All of these. So over here, we're in woodier territory. And I recently purchased Blue Heart again in the So Avant-Garde sale. So I'm going to enjoy trying that out more this winter. I definitely sampled it before and liked it. And then, you know, Cavort. Hello. Absolutely. All right, let's go up. Let's go up one level to the next apartment of fragrances. On this shelf, I have my heavily ambery fragrances where that's a really dominant note. I have my tobacco fragrances, which I pared back greatly. I have tobacco videos on YouTube and I stand by all of my recommendations, but I personally did not need 4,000 tobacco fragrances in my own collection. So I pared it back, even though I have multiple recommendations for all of y'all. My sandalwood-ish collection, and this is like my BR 540 adjacent and a little bit of other random stuff. So looking over here at the ambery ones. I am absolutely looking forward to wearing my beautiful Hail Bob from Tiziana Terenzi. We have talked about French Defense, this gorgeous amber, cherry, and I think there's a little bit of woodiness and definitely something that comes across boozy in this fragrance to me. Looking forward to wearing that. I mean, French, just assume that the answer is I want to wear all of this, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to keep it shorter, right? I've already worn this Sahara recently, and you'll see this in my next monthly favorites video. So good. Has a little bit of an orange touch, heavy on amber and saffron. I moved Dune back onto the shelves, the Christian Dior Dune. If you remember, I banished this for a while because I wore it this summer, and it was really a heavy fragrance that I wore in the summer when I was looking for something a little bit comforting, and it kind of overwhelmed me. But then we had a moment and I was like, no, you're going right back on the shelf because you are too beautiful to be sitting in a closet waiting to be worn. Guys, if you haven't gotten into, I never say this right, Alhambra, this is the Eye of Seven Hills, which definitely has like a side effect-ish kind of vibe to it. Beautiful, again, deep, dark, sultry for fall and winter as we go into that. This is Sexy Garrigue, and it's part of the amber group, but I needed to put it over here on the shelf just because I like line order. I like the shorties in the front and the tall ones in the back. It helps me to see things. But we're over here in like tobacco-y sandalwood territory. So in the tobacco fragrances, I pared back greatly. I think I only have maybe 3 left. And of those, I'm going to say that Tobacco Rose from BDK is one that I'm really looking forward to wearing. Over here in sandalwood territory, this does happen to be a note that I really enjoy. I had to pare this back too. It doesn't look like it. Both of these columns are sandalwood heavy. And you're probably thinking, do you really need that many sandalwood fragrances? Yes, like don't judge me, okay? I am deeply in love with Santal Cardamom from the Maison Lancôme line, so I'm looking forward to wearing that. All of these are beautiful. And absolutely number 6 from Rosendo Matteo, which has jasmine and then musk. It tells you right on the placard there what the perfumer wants you to pick up out of it. So those are heavy on my mind right now. I'll leave this column alone because you know what this is about, but I'm definitely going to be wearing one of my favorites of all time, Chinatown, back there. So now we're going into some of like fall favorites territory. And with the exception of these two that I kind of like, can I say the word? I was going to say cantilever, but it's almost like catty corner is the word that I'm looking for. With the exception of those two that I did this with so that they could fit on the row without pushing Angel's share over the side. And this little cutie pie that I didn't focus seems to be able to fit into the row. Everything else is a nice, neat rows. And I'm pretty proud of myself, y'all, because to do this, it meant that I really had to be pretty cutthroat in the declutter. So these are my fall spicy fragrances over here. And I think this column has the fall spices as well. So all of these I'm looking forward to wearing, of course, but I'm going to point to Ojan as one of my top favorites from Parfums de Marly and one that I'm looking forward to picking up. And probably, it's tough between Rivalit Imperial and Side Effect, both of them. But I have a thing for Rivalit Imperial from Plume Impression recently. So looking forward to wearing that again and may wear that maybe even before Side Effect. Ooh, you are not in line order. You are taller than this one. We might have to rearrange y'all. Over here we're getting into like vanilla territory. And right here in the back are the fruity, like dark, deep, almost like resinous fruity vanillas. So you have, is this Dates Delight? Yes, this is Dates Delight right here from House of Oud. This is one that was sent to me by So Avant-Garde, and I think it's beautiful. Rouge Sarai. I'm looking forward to wearing this one, which I haven't talked about on my channel yet. It's newer, and I haven't done a full wear. I've sprayed here and there. This is Oriental Enigma. I always want to call it the peacock fragrance, but it's not. It's Oriental Enigma. Dried fruits and dark sort of spicy vanilla ambery type of thing. And I'm looking forward to wearing that. I really shouldn't even be doing this looking forward to wearing because the answer is everything. Or thing. I want to wear it all. Over here in this category, we're getting into the more sultry, sexy, alluring, come hither types of vanillas. So here I'm going to point to Ani X as one that I'm looking forward to pulling out. It's a lot like Ani the original, but I find it to be a little softer and gentler and not have some of those harsh top notes that the original Ani has. I find this to be a more feminine version for myself. And I'm really wanting to try Cafe Cabanel again soon. I haven't worn this one in a while, and it's beautiful, soft, cafe au lait type with some cinnamon, and I feel like it has some buttery tones as well. Here I have greatly pared down my chocolate collection. greatly. If you remember, I had probably 15 or something chocolates. I mean, this one isn't chocolate. This is Lune Feline. So this is like a holdover from these 2 rows of sexy, spicy types of vanillas that I needed to put her somewhere. So she's at the back of this line. Of course, we like to reach for the new. So I'm looking forward to wearing Just from Andrea Mac, which is boozy, like a perfumey, darker chocolate. And I really think Choco Violette, look how it just peeked out like that. Like, look at me, here I am. Look, Mom, here I am. From Mancera. This is a powdery, darker, nutty chocolate. And when you first spray it, it kind of makes the back of your throat like, oh, like, because it's a little bit of a drier fragrance. But once that goes away, this is beautiful. All of these are gorgeous. I also have Carnal Cacao still hanging on for dear life over here from Maison Tahiti. This is the only one from the brand that I still have. This whole line is really beautiful. The ones that feature both vanilla and chocolate. This is one that has tuberose in it and is a little bit softer wearing, and I really like it. And then I have Queening back here. I don't know if she really belongs here, but I wasn't sure where else to stick her. Main notes, as it says right there, Orris and vanilla. It's like this really soft, almost like powdery. It is powdery, not almost powdery, but it's like a dense powderiness with this gorgeous vanilla. I think it has citrus, if I remember. Like it feels bright when you first put it on, and it's so feminine and cozy and beautiful. Okay, let's go. Next department of fragrances. So in this shelf, we're more in gourmand territory. So over here, we have a collection of vanilla-based or vanilla-heavy gourmandy types of fragrances that have various gourmand notes. For the most part, you have nutty notes in here. You have some caramel, a little bit of like creamy coconut, although this comes across as like toffee and butterscotch and caramel to me. Creme brulee, wore it recently. So in this little section, gosh, I want to wear them all immediately. But you know, I have a special place in my heart for Tribeca from Bond Number 9, which has both like a chocolatey cacao and a nutty, I think it's hazelnut that's in the fragrance, and it's soft, and it also has some florals and some woodiness, if I remember, and it is just sophisticated and gorgeous. It's almost like a gourmand version of BR 540, at least in my mind. I definitely want to wear Cheirosa. Sorry, it's actually, what am I trying to say? Sol de Janeiro is what I meant to say, Cheirosa 62, which is like a perfumey version of the Brazilian Crush for me 71. These go very well together. I don't do a whole lot of layering these days, but that's a nice layering combo there. It's hard for me not to reach for Girl of Now Constantly, which is a beautiful, soft, floral, almost honeyed, nutty fragrance that is warm and cozy and just amazing. Okay, moving over here, we're moving a little bit into some fragrances that have what I think of as creamy notes. Oh my God. Tried to lift this by the lid. That was a mistake, potentially disastrous. Blanche Bet. A lot of people pick up coconut in this. There's, in my mind, oh shoot, sorry y'all, that was so loud. Like a creamy, coconutty tuberose type of deal. Very milky, very. In my mind, sometimes it's creamy, and some people get nauseated by this. So definitely try before you buy. But the people that love this, love this. The people that are nauseated by it are nauseated. And I am a huge fan of Commodity Milk Plus. It's like a really thick, dense, marshmallowy, woody fragrance with some creamy tones. It says Milk Plus, but for me, this comes across very creamy, almost like condensed milk. Okay, then we have other softer vanillas here of a variety of sorts. I have to be careful not to always reach for this one, Love Delight, lately, because it really grew on me. When I sampled it, I was like, this is okay, whatever. And then I found the bottle on sale and wore it full wear, and it's really beautiful. It's got ginger and some florals and some softness, and I just remember feeling like it was a beautiful sweater weather, soft, very feminine fragrance. I want to wear all of these. I talked about Amber Vanilla in my Cozy Fragrances video. I think it will air before this video does. So check out that video if you want a description. Fire at Will by Javoy. Oh my gosh. Beautiful, very sort of bright, almost even effervescent, brown sugar, vanilla fragrance with some touches of amber. Really delicious. Okay, I have paired back my lemony vanilla collection to these 4. Mont Blanc Signature is hanging on tough, you all. This has gone through many declutters on other channels, but we are still friends here. Unknown Pleasures is hanging tough, a beauty, Devotion. This is not a tour of every fragrance, Veronica, okay? And then Lyra. on. So I'm looking forward to wearing all of those. And then over here is like what is remaining of my tea collection. Do you guys remember this one? I raved and raved about that, like I think 2 years ago, coconut milk chai. This is not the bottle that it comes in. I actually purchased a bunch of little ones of these and put it in this big bottle. This person is on Etsy, I believe is where I found her, and she's an independent perfumer. And this is like a spicy, exactly what it is, spicy coconut milk chai, and it's so good. So I'm looking forward to wearing that. I've talked about these other fragrances before, so I'm just going to leave this row alone. We're heading up to the deluxe apartment in the Sky. Okay, up on this shelf, we have even more vanillas. A whole couple of shelves of vanilla heavy fragrances. I'm trying to remember the rationale here. I think these were feminine, more mature vanilla type of fragrances. These were my man killer rose here. Super sexy, sultry, like date night types of vanillas. I think I have a row here of aromatic vanillas, actually 2 rows that have aromatic notes in them. And then this was kind of like a marshmallowy, powdery, fluffy vanilla rose. So over here in this corner, you guys, I just got Acro Glow In. I ordered a bottle and I knew it was small. But I didn't realize it was going to be this tiny. So reviews are that this smells a lot like Spiritus Double Vanille, which I had a dupe of. I've never had the original. I've tried the original, but it's been so long ago that I really don't remember. But it smells like the dupe that I used to have from Alexandria Fragrances times 10. This is really good. So I'm looking forward to wearing the new one, but that's easy. That's an easy reach because who doesn't love their new fragrances, right? Gentle Fluidity Gold, I want to definitely pull back out. This is like an all-occasion, gorgeous, never go wrong with kind of vanilla. You guys, I've had a real thing for Nichane 100 Silent Ways recently. I ended up purchasing this 1.7 ounce. I think I got this from Joma Shop. And I mean, you just can't go wrong with this. At least I can't. Tuberose, vanilla, a little bit of powderiness, and some sandalwood. And it's just elegant and like always a winner. Over here in the super sultry sort of femme fatale category, I did recently wear this one. You'll hear about it in the monthly awards, the Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar from Kayali. Really good, really good. Very similar to La Belle. It's almost like if La Belle and La Belle Le Parfum were mixed together, you might get something like this with a touch more of sweetness. I really don't need them all, but I'm going to keep them all because it's my collection and I can do whatever I want. So looking forward to wearing Black Opium Over Red, which has the cherry note. And originally when I reviewed this, I said the cherry fades away. I have gotten more of the cherry for longer more recently, so that's exciting. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be pulling out Miss Good Girl Original more. I don't care what anybody says. I really like the Good Girl Original, and she's sexy and crowd-pleasing. So there, I said what I said. On to the aromatic vanilla territory. I really need to use Burberry Goddess more. We all know what this is. Vanilla and lavender for the most part. I think there's some other notes, but that's really what the fragrance is about. I kind of want to go through this bottle. I'm not going to go through this bottle this winter. That's just not going to happen. I'm not going to finish this big A bottle. But I really do want to pick up now a small bottle of the Intense, which everyone decided that they hated, but I really like. And, you know, you got to follow your taste. You can't just do what everybody else does and like what everybody else likes, friends. You got to have your own taste, do your own thing. I like Burberry Goddess Intense, and I do want a small bottle of that at some point. So I'm looking forward to wearing that. I also really want to show some more love to Merlon. Help me, Jesus. Guerlain Mon Guerlain Intense, which has a lot of heavy vanilla, but is a lot like the original, except more sultry with that vanilla. And do I remember that it has a little bit of smokiness, or am I imagining that? That's how long it's been since I've worn it. But apparently the lavenders are having a moment in my life. Let me leave this part here alone. These are all lovely, and I'll be wearing these winter as well. Okay, moving up close to, let's just call this the penthouse where the very wealthy weirdos live. Ooh, honey more, you belong up here, honey. We're going to talk about her in a minute. Wait a minute. So anyway, if you've been following me, you know that this top shelf is where I put the fragrances that really don't belong in any other category. They sort of do their own thing. With the exception of this corner, these are iris-based fragrances, or fragrances that have a prominent iris note. I have decluttered a number of irises because although I do like the note of iris and occasionally I'm in the mood for it, it is not my preferred profile. And so this is one that I really wanted to pare down, and probably will pare down even a little bit more. So some of the iris fragrances are on Mercari or about to go on Mercari, but one of my favorites, let me do this without toppling everything over, is this one, Iris Shot from Olfactive Studio. Oh my gosh, this is like a delicious, creamy, almost cereal-like iris fragrance that is very cozy, very happy. I love this. Love that. And I want to show some love to this Rosendo Mateo number 3, Neroli Iris and White Musk. It's a little bit lighter wearing and softer, very delicate, but a great sort of white t-shirt fragrance. I think I was thinking about putting it on my white t-shirt shelf, but I wanted to keep it with its iris siblings over here. Iris siblings. Yes, iris siblings. So then we get into this territory of fragrances that defy description in a lot of ways. So you already know I love some of these to death, like Lineage and Dolce Amalfi, but to give those a break, I want to get into Hypnotizing Fire from the Harmonist. This, friends, is one of the sexiest powerhouse fragrances I've smelled in a long time. Very unique, very interesting. I'll review it sometime soon, maybe in a monthly fragrance video. But this one I'm looking forward to wearing. Over here in this corner, you know, I'm loving this Oro Verde from the House of Beau. This is in my Earthy Fragrances video, so go take a look at that if you want a description of this. It is unique as all get out. I want to show some more love to this gorgeous Musk Chamal, which is a very clean, but like in the most elevated way, clean, musky fragrance, very refined and lovely. And then maybe this shelf will surprise some people. I used to have, so let me tell you what I'm talking about. This shelf up here, which is not very well organized, I used to have a shelf of vintage fragrances that I liked, but didn't wear often. And then you might remember that I decided to put these back into the regular shelves with the intention of using them more. And quite frankly, that just has not been the case. I haven't reached for them very often. I mean, I've worn Chanel number 5. I've worn Paloma Picasso, which you'll hear about in the Fragrance Awards. I've worn L'Autre Oud. Some of these are not vintage. Like you'll see Utopia, whatever that's called, Vanilla Cocoa 21, very sexy from Victoria's Secret, and some other ones. And the reason that I have them up here is because I'm not reaching for these as often. Patchouli Temptation is up here from Bulgari because I have the Narciso White Cube and it's very, very similar. So I'm going to go through the Narciso White Cube first and then reach for this. So some of these are kind of like on hold. Like you see Un Jardin sur le Nil right there. I didn't reach for that very much this summer at all. Same thing for Utopia Vanilla Cocoa. I have so many fragrances that are in that same sort of vein that I'm leaving it up here and I'm going to go through some other fragrances for and we'll come back for it later. But they're still up here. These are fragrances I definitely want to keep in the collection, but you know, I had to just make room on the shelves. Okay, so even though it doesn't look like it, here is one area where I have greatly pared back my collection, particularly up here in the citrus space. This part was completely crammed before. The way that I have organized these shelves is in clusters of alike fragrances that give me similar vibes. I had this section from here over there that was just like summer tropical types of fragrances, but some of these were kind of mixed down in with the florals and all of this. So let me just share with you how I have organized this top shelf. I have some sort of random citruses back there that didn't quite fit any particular mold. And then I have some citrus fragrances here that have a little bit more sort of substance to them, a little bit more base. They aren't as sort of quite as light and airy as you would think of as some of your citrusy fragrances. Over here, I have fragrances that are very citrus forward, like grapefruit. And then this is like a mandarin scent, mandarin basilic. In here are fragrances that are citrus heavy but smell fresh, and they have maybe like grassy tones to them. So they are all clustered right here. This one I'm really proud of because I finally figured out that although some of these fragrances are floral heavy, like your Oud Jaune Intense, and let's see here, Bora Bora from Giardini di Toscana, they really fall for me in the tropical fragrance category. Some of these, because they're heavily floral, were down here with the other florals, but it made sense to put them with other fragrances that vibe the same. So in here, without going through all of the details, are fragrances that give me tropical floral vibes or warm ambery tropical floral vibes. Oh, I didn't say the citrus ones that I'm looking forward to wearing. I will probably pull for the Forward, which has citrus, and I think there's vanilla in the base of that as well. It's so yummy and easygoing. And I definitely want to wear the intense version of Acqua di Gioia. This is heavy and this is thick and can take you through cold months. So I am putting my original up for sale because I don't need both of them. In here, I want to wear these all. So just all I want to wear. One of my favorite categories. Here were my like beachy summer fragrances. Okay, Sur la Plage, La Mar. And then this may not necessarily be beachy, but it has I don't know, the airiness that you get from being in a beach environment. Lavelle Paradise Garden. Did I get the name right? In here are more definite beachy toned fragrances that give you a little bit of sunblock or tropical drink vibe. I may not wear these much this winter, but I'll probably sniff them here and there. And then there are my coconut heavy fragrances. I will probably reach for this Ariana Grande Cloud 2.0 Intense quite a bit this winter because it's wonderful. And then Mellow Musks. All right, let's then look down here. I have absolutely completely rearranged this shelf, gone through, and although it doesn't look like this, I have pared back quite a bit. Over here are fragrances that have a heavy musk base, and musky in the sense that there are a lot of people that don't like this musk because they find it a little bit overpowering for them. And it'll be no surprise that there are many Tiziana Terenzi fragrances over here, or the perfumer for Tiziana Terenzi. This is Temptatio from Quinto Canto. Oh my God, did I say that right? And it's Paolo Terenzi, the brother of Tiziana Terenzi, that created that perfume. I love all of these. They're for me. They are for me all day, every day. So I'm going to just leave this section alone because, you know, I love them all. Okay, back in here, we have all of our tuberose fragrances. I am a tuberose lover. I had to really pare this down a bit. So there are some of those that will be up for sale. I'm looking forward to wearing Amarige, which is a classic that I have worn for a very long time and remains a love. And then Bulgari Tuberose Mystique, which has like a nutty tone, if I remember, tuberose, and just this amazing warmth, wraparound warmth in the base. Then we have gardenia and magnolia heavy fragrances sort of over here in the middle sections. Love a lot of these too. Definitely want to wear Narciso, the white cube, this winter. Woody, is it gardenia? Woody, and there's a rose note, but it's mostly the gardenia that kind of comes across tuberosy to me, to be honest. Right, this video is getting long, so let me try to hustle along here. This section in here is my fruity floral fragrances, and they kind of come out here. You notice no other category protrudes out into the white space, but this one, there's so many that I absolutely love. I'm going to be looking forward to wearing a lot of these as well. Let me start off with Jardin de Misfa, which I think has a rosy note, and I believe there's dates in there as well. And it's just soft and sweet and feminine and cozy, and is one that I didn't think I wanted when I first tried it. And it's, you know, a testament to giving a fragrance a try, trying it a few times and seeing what you think. And then as we get into colder months, this one is really difficult to find. Beldopium, it's discontinued, but it's got such a deep, cozy feeling to it, and it's beautiful and feminine, and I love wearing it. Over here is the Majority Rose collection there in the back. Love all of them. I'm not going to pick it up, but Andrea Mack back there, you see her poking through? Pavilion, probably one of the most gorgeous rose forward fragrances in my entire collection. So warm, so sexy, so deep and powerful and long lasting. And it gives me all the feels. So pretty. And then Fragrance du Bois, New York 5th Avenue, is a gorgeous woody rose that is very just sophisticated, pretty, all occasion beauty. Over here are fragrances that are musky, but maybe are a little bit lighter than this collection of powerhouse musk fragrances over here. These are lighter musk fragrances. Lighter is relative because like Valleja, excuse me, her name is Valleja, is a beast. This is a beast of a fragrance, as I said before in another video, but it has sort of a lighter affect than those other ones that are intended to be like darker and more like mysterious and intriguing. This is a happy heavy fragrance because there's a lot of citrus in here and some florals. So I love that entire category. I definitely need to give some love to Greenwich Village soon. And I haven't worn Rêve d'Infini from Lalique in a while, so maybe that one also. So then I also pared back and greatly rearranged my clean fragrances, my easy, well, maybe are not all clean, my easy reach white t-shirt fragrances, as I call this entire shelf, even though there's a variety of types here. And I'm forgetting now how I organize these, but I think the woody-ish, the ones that have wood tones or are like molecular in nature. And I mean molecular in that there is a certain molecule that the fragrance is based around. Not that, because all fragrances are molecular, friends. They all have molecules, but you know what I mean. Anyway, those sort of easy reach, one note wonders or a couple of note wonders are over here. What did I do with this middle one here? Clean smelling, maybe. That give you clean vibes over in here. These in the middle have a little bit more punch to them, even though I still consider them clean fragrances. They have some depth, some creaminess, you know, like this Yum Pistachio Gelato has a lot of body yaddy yaddy to it, but it still gives me clean vibes and is easy reach in my mind. But these maybe have a little bit more sort of base to them than most of your other clean types of fragrances. Over here are fragrances. I think this was grouped by either a floral note or a fruit note that connects these. And it's not an exact science. For example, you see 724 hanging here, which is kind of like clean laundry-esque and maybe belongs over there. So not an exact science, but you get the idea. I really, really enjoy this category and have to be careful not to reach here more than everywhere else. But out of here, what I'm looking forward to wearing is everything. Okay. Be serious though. I always love Pear Ink from Juliet Has a Gun. It grew on me and is a compliment getter. One of my top compliment getters, crowd pleaser, very easy, musky, clean pear. The pear in there is, well, we're not getting into all that. It's not a sweet pear, is all you need to know. And then from this middle section, there's so many here that I really enjoy. I haven't shown a lot of love to Tom Ford Metallique in a while, which does have this vanilla / metallic vibe to it and is really unique and interesting. And I want to make my way through this bottle because I'd like to purchase a bigger bottle. Gosh, this is so disgusting. Apparently, this is one I did not clean off. And then over here in this section, I enjoy the molecular-ish types of notes or clean laundry-esque sorts of notes. So this one would be hard to choose from in terms of narrowing down to something I'm going to really enjoy wearing. I really do want to wear my Bear from Victoria's Secret. Again, one of my top favorites. Love, love, love that. And then I'd like to give Cheeky Smile from Juicebox some playtime. So that's that. I have other fragrances that are here, there, and everywhere, like these 3 from New Notes that used to be up on this shelf, and I probably need to find a new place for. Like I need to figure out what other shelf they go on. So I need to give them some attention and sort through them. But friends, one of the biggest mistakes, the catastrophic error that I made in putting these shelves together is that I completely forgot that I have fragrances elsewhere that eventually need to make their way back to these shelves. So some of these rows are filled to the brim. There's no more space to stuff anything in. So I really don't want to do another declutter just to find space. So I'm just gonna have to cheat and have like an overflow space for fragrances. And what I mean is, hello, the fragrance tray and all of the fragrances that I have on there. If you've watched these videos, you know that I stuff this tray with as many fragrances as I can fit on there. It's not stuffed now because as I wear these, I start to move them back to the shelves or into this other place where I'm going to reshelve them at some point. So these are the ones remaining that I haven't worn yet. I was going to say month, but remember, this isn't a monthly tray. This is like a coming up next tray. So that, and then remember there's these 3 citrusy fragrances that I was supposed to put back on the shelf and then I did not. So, oh my gosh, I have to figure out what to put. And then I also have those 2 shelves, they're not really shelves, excuse me, those 2 sort of trays in my filming room of newer fragrances that I am wanting to wear more before they get on the shelves. So that's just going to have to stay in overflow space because I am not decluttering further right now. It took me, and I'm not kidding you, it took me all of 8 or 9 hours to go through all of these shelves, clean them, and do the like Marie Kondo thing. It was exhausting. It was exhausting. So I don't really want to do it again for like months. I might want to wait 6 months before I do this again. Now let's talk about a few of the ones that I am decluttering and why. So I have a few boxes of a lot of Middle Eastern fragrances and other random things that I purchased when I first started my channel just to try them out. I have this whole like thing where I wanted to get unusual fragrances that other people weren't talking about. But what happens with that is then people aren't looking for them and they definitely don't want them on Mercari. So you have that problem of like, what are you going to do with them once you get tired of them and or want to move them along to other people? So these are ones that I am going to probably donate to a shelter. I have taken a number of them off of Mercari because people just weren't interested. And that's it. That's that. There are a number of perfumes that I'm decluttering that are already listed on Mercari. And these are ones that are going to be on there soon when I get around to them. Don't rush me. I am so slow with this sort of thing. I already talked to y'all about Chiron, which I call Chidon, and we have that funny story about the naming of this from Tiziana Terenzi. That's going to be going up soon. I'm not putting this one. This is Killer Instinct. This came in PR with the Axe. A-X-E. Do you remember that? So no, I'm not going to put this on Mercari. I will just give this away to someone. So let me put that away. And this is the other Mark, whatever you call his name. Those are going to someone else. I don't think I'm going to get rid of you. Why did you end up here? Oh, I know what it is. Because I really wanted to get a new one with the real cap. I never did find a proper cap for this. Excuse me. So someone else will get good use of this. But this is beautiful. L'Interdit Rouge from Givenchy. A few that may surprise people. And I'm going to just share the why. This is Malibu Party in the Bay, which, as you can see, I've worn quite a bit. It has a really strong lime note, and there's something else in here that just, this summer in particular when I wore it, kind of overpowered me. It didn't happen in previous summers. And friends, that just happens. Sometimes you love a fragrance for a while, you have your season with it, and then it starts to get on your nerves for one reason or another. Ain't nothing wrong with that, y'all. It is your possessions. Do not feel guilty about moving it along, selling it, shelving it for a while and revisiting it, whatever you need to do. Enjoy your collection, however it makes sense to you. But this is one I think I've had my time with. I still strongly advise this for people that are interested in coconut, rum, lime as a fragrance. Really, really nice. Kind of a dupe for Creed Virgin Island water in a powerhouse form. Very strong, very long lasting. A little bit too much for me. I'm letting go. I'm letting go of Kayali Vanilla 28 only because, as you saw, my vanilla shelves are thick and I don't reach for this one on its own. It doesn't fascinate me enough. It doesn't, I guess it just doesn't draw me enough. Beautiful vanilla, but I'm letting that one go. I'm actually letting go of Bottega Veneta, and I may regret it, so I'm not going to talk about it very much because this is hard to find. It's discontinued, if I'm not mistaken. Gorgeous, gorgeous, soft, suede, leathery fragrance. The issue here is I don't reach for this as much as I do my other leather fragrances, and so I'm going to let someone else enjoy this. I was in love with this for a while, though. Oud Lemon Mint, which I think is gorgeous, from Mancera. It's a little oudy, a little lemony, and a little minty. And I believe there's musk in the fragrance too. It does lean a little bit masculine. And so as much as I enjoy this fragrance, I enjoy other citrus fragrances, maybe a little bit more the ones that you saw on the shelf. So I'm going to let that one go as well. This one, Amber Rouge from Orientica. I always hated these KG bottles. At one point, I kind of sort of thought maybe they were cute in a gaudy way, and then they just started to get on my nerves on my shelves. Plus, I still have Amber Oud Rouge, which gives me the scratch of the BR540 feel, which this is a dupe of. I think this is a dupe of the extrait version, if I'm not mistaken, but I really, honestly, I don't need both. And so I'm going to let go of this one in favor of the other one. And I may just go on and get myself a full bottle of BR540 soon and stop messing around with the dupe situation, you all. I have nothing against dupes. If you watch my channel, you know, I posted a video about my feelings about some dupes in particular. I don't have that feeling about all dupes, but I have that feeling about some. And so I just would rather stay away unless it's an exceptional dupe that I just really, really enjoy. Speaking of dupes, this is the tobacco edition from Amber Oud. That is a dupe for Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. I just pared back my tobaccos, that's all. And so this is one tobacco fragrance that I think is lovely, spicy, pretty true to the original Tobacco Vanille. Not quite the same, but close enough. But I'm not going to wear it because I have other tobacco fragrances I would reach for sooner than that. I'm letting go of my Zara A Sweet Pastry in Paris, which is probably one of my more difficult declutters because I love this category of the sweet, lemony, vanillic, gourmandy type of fragrance. But as you saw, I have a whole row of those. And this one has been, we've had our time together. It's been wonderful. It's like a lemon bar, a hot lemon bar out of the oven, sprinkled with that confectioner's sugar. Really, really wonderful. I've had my time, and I think I prefer the others a little bit more because they're a little bit softer and gentler to me. So that one will go. This one may be a little bit shocking. Honey Oud or Oud from Montal, because I have similar fragrances. I mean, this is like in that angel share family. This one smells a little bit like a cereal, has like a cinnamony cereal base to it. But the other ones, the other spicy fall fragrances I would reach for before that one. I don't want to spend a whole lot more time here. Let's see, this one here from Trussardi. I'm not even going to try to say that name. This is a little bit darker, more aromatic, more masculine than I would love. It's a beautiful fragrance. Don't reach for it. This is one that folks may be interested in because it's hard to get a hold of. Coconut Fizz from the Aqua Allegoria Guerlain line. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. It's a little bit more sort of bubbly than I'm interested in for a coconut fragrance. I mean, fizz. It's a little bit fizzy. And so this and this one, the Cocoa Love from Jacques Zolti, I'm putting up on Mercari because I pared down my coconut collection. These are both gorgeous, though. I mean, this is a creamy, delicious coconut right here. But I mean, how many coconut fragrances do I need? And so I can still share with you that these are great choices if you're interested in them, but I don't necessarily want to keep them all on my personal shelf. Same thing is true with this bubble bath from Replica. This is so good. This is like a bubble bath with a coconut touch. Kind of luxurious, like a luxurious, clean smell. But I've had my time with it. I don't reach for it very often, and I would reach for other clean, soapy smells, perhaps before this, although this is beautiful. I mean, the fact of the matter is that there were very few, I don't think there are none, on this tray that I would tell people not to mess with. Are there any that I would say, maybe don't think about this fragrance? Oh, I guess I would say to people, this is Poivre Pomelo from Atelier Materie. Ooh! Oh Oh my gosh, we almost had a disaster. This is a grapefruity, I mean, pomelo, excuse me, is I think a cousin or something of grapefruit. I forget the details of it, but it smells very grapefruity. It has a slightly masculine aromatic lean, and so it's a gorgeous fragrance, but for people that like more feminine fragrances, they may not be into this one, and so that's, you know, one I would say be careful of. I am going to post my Serge Lutens collection. I can't believe this. 5 o'clock Eau Gingembre is a beautiful, beautiful tea fragrance, spicy tea, very comforting, very wonderful. We've had our time together. It's time for someone else to enjoy that. Santal Majuscule. It's rose and sandalwood, and I believe there's like a dark chocolate note in there too. Really deep, dark, and sultry, but not for everyone, and does have a little bit of a masculine lean. And then this one here, Chergui, which is sort of a classic Serge Lutens fragrance. Look how dark that has gotten. It's tobacco, and I think there's vanilla in there. There's like a hay-like note. What else? Is there honey? I don't know. I haven't worn it in a while, and it's beautiful, but I don't wear it. I don't wear it. People are looking for this, so if you are a Chergui fan, this will be up for sale. Oh, I do want to share a couple that I think are really quite beautiful, and in fact, I probably don't want to talk about them a lot because they may end up back on the shelves. These two Daniel Hosier fragrances are gorgeous. This one is called Jazoon, and it's floral and warm and comforting, and I believe it has a little bit of like a fall spiciness and maybe even a chocolate note, if I remember, or a nutty note, and it's really warm and beautiful. As you can see, I've had my time with it. It's gorgeous, but I have similar fragrances, and so I just think my time with this has come to a close, as well as this one, which is tuberose, and it's a softer tuberose. It's a very pleasant, highly feminine, sophisticated, soft tuberose, but I have so many tuberose fragrances that I reach for before this one. Although if someone wanted a tuberose fragrance, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend this. So that's what I have to say about that. So friends, I think that brings me to the end of this video. I have a lot more to say, but the video's already long enough. Hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts on the shelf arrangement. And if you have any comments about what I'm decluttering, happy to hear those too. Thanks for hanging out with me this long. If you're here to the end, you're a real one. Please put a thumbs up down in the comments to let me know you made it this long. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.